18th of May, 2024 at 12:23 p.m. here in Snohomish, Washington, United States of America. Welcome once again to our Cosmic Journey, our weekly dev and design podcast showcasing how we are making the world's best new astrology software. Designer Jake here with engineer Trey. Here as always. Hello, Trey.
Hello, Jake.
You've already heard the intro once because I forgot to record it. So how was the intro the second time?
It was great, and I loved your timing. I was just going to say it had a very oh crap, what's her name? The financial advisor that we love,
Suze Orman.
Suze Orman, yeah. It had a very Suze Orman sort of cadence to it. I like.
Let's give her thanks up there. She doesn't have a YouTube channel, so I'm linking something here, whatever that is up there.
Whatever that is.
Yeah, I'm trying to be more like Suze Orman. I think that we could all be a little bit more like Suze, you know?
Yeah.
I feel like in the relationship though, that I am both Suze Orman and KT. You know, I don't know. I think that makes you the houseboy. I don't fully know. It's fine. We'll figure it out later. We're doing this quick. This is why I'm standing up. This is why I'm doing a different shot because like even though it's a podcast, it can still be a little snappy. This week's episode is called Button Nose. It's episode 35. And what I'll do is I'll do a check-in question. We'll have a dev demo today of some fancy buttons. We'll do a design demo of some better ring guards. And yeah, I think that will probably do it for us, don't you think?
Yeah.
Do you feel?
We'll keep it quick.
Keep it quick. I actually don't even know if I hit the right whatever. We'll see if I hit the right cues later. Let's go to the check-in question. So I give you this, Mr. Henry. Real easy. How do you like your feedback? We all like feedback. We don't necessarily like receiving feedback. So how do you like to receive your feedback, sir?
Like a gazpacho, cold and spicy.
That's it?
That's
like
it.
Like a gazpacho, cold and spicy? What does it mean to get cold and spicy feedback? Just because we're going fast doesn't mean that we have to be devoid of content. Sorry, I didn't want to make sure, like...
What to read.
Those two things can be, you can be fast and still have content. So what does it mean to be cold and spicy?
Just because you don't understand my brilliant answer doesn't necessarily mean that it's content free.
Okay. So why did you explain to the viewer and me? The viewer understands, you understand. I don't get it. Why don't you explain to me what it means to make a gazpacho of feedback? We'll put you,
just very.
We'll put you in single because I think this is very important. Here we go.
Straightforward feedback that doesn't pull the punches. Like give it straight, pull the Band-Aid.
See, I feel like I was giving you straightforward feedback there that wasn't pulling the punches, and you seem to be reacting very poorly to it.
Yeah, except for you. Everybody.
Everyone except me. Can't do it. I think everyone, this is a side note, I think everyone wants the feedback done real quick and at them. And I think that when they get quick and at them feedback, everybody's like, ooh, I just didn't like that, how that felt at all. I think that's I think that's what a brave person, like we all want to be brave and that's what we want to receive. We think we want to receive, but then we receive it. We're like, ooh, that didn't feel nice. Much like gazpacho. Every time I order it, I'm like, I don't know.
I think the it's just the time window in which the processing, like the ego processing of the feedback needs to happen. It's like the ego bruising can either be just like a bunch of like poking the fruit over like a month, until it's a brown mess, or just like punching the fruit right out of the gate.
All right, so we're either poking the fruit until it turns brown, or we're punching the fruit. All right, and also when you poke fruit, it turns brown. Is this how I'm understanding?
Over like a month.
Over like a month. Over like a month. Okay, we're poking the brown fruit till it turns brown over a month. I feel you. I feel you on that one. For me, I think it's more about. We're having some studio issues here. That's fine. I think for me, it's more about making sure that there's just enough prompt into it, so there's enough of a runway for the feedback. So for me, it's like, I'm going to tell you something that's very direct right now, and it's something that I saw, and are you ready for it? And then you have to acknowledge, yes, in fact, I am ready for it. And then we're ready to do this. All right, let's get into the development demos then. Mr. Henry, do you want to set up a little bit about fancy buttons, sir?
Yeah, I mean, I can set it up like very, very quickly, which is to say, it was kind of a whirlwind week with a lot of non-cosmic things going on, which we won't get into the details of. But so there wasn't a ton of work on cosmic on the engineering side this week. However, we did do fully componentize out the buttons based on the design. So we now have the regular buttons, which we saw before. There's also buttons with icons, the disabled mode, and then we also have the small versions, which also
those little thin buttons.
Yeah, little thin buttons, which are
I'll show you.
Used in.
I'll show you where they're used.
Jake will demo, and then we also have the little tiny sort of link guys as well. They have. We're not showing the without variants here, but this is all provided by one component, and yeah, it's. I think it looks pretty good. It's pretty on keeping with the design. And even though it wasn't a ton of stuff, you make a little bit of progress every time.
Is there any way you can scroll?
Make a little progress.
Always a little bit of progress. I love that. Can you scroll the screen up just a little bit so we can take a look at those buttons? No, sorry. When I meant up, I meant down. No, you can't go any more down. I wanted to see those those teeny buttons at the bottom. It's fun. That's all good. Oh! Look at that. Here, let me get in this screen. There we go. See, those look great. Look, see, I don't even have to do the zoom in. You can do the zoom in. I love it.
Yeah, and then it's like lots of pixels too.
Lots and lots of pixels. Yeah. A little cache, a little naughty, just a little. Love it. Looks very pretty. What was your? How did you feel about the CSS that you had to rehabilitate that I made?
Well, I actually didn't. I didn't rehabilitate the CSS yet. I think we should open a separate ticket for that. But for the new stuff that isn't using like these little guys that have, it's actually a different gradient, even though it's some of the same colors. It's a slightly different gradient, and those are all done directly in Tailwind now. So those ones are like done the quote unquote correct way.
Nice.
And so we'll move the other stuff over eventually, but there's no big deal with it right now. And the code looks pretty straightforward, so I'm reasonably happy with it.
Me too. Very good, honey. You did a good job. Good work. Now, what about me? What did I do? Well, we also had some other life stuff going on, but I did get a chance to redo the ring cards as we talked about last week. So if I go over here, these are going to be the ring cards. So now what you'll see here is that, like we talked about before, if you are a prominent native, you're going to have this kind of fancy border. If you're a non-prominent native, you're going to have a purplish border. It's still fancy, but a different kind of fancy. So now the kind of like embedded version of the prominent card is going to have that fancy border, except it's going to be the background. And for the non-prominent person, it's going to be the non-prominent background. So the way this looks when it comes onto ring cards now, which are here, is like this, which looks so much better. So a couple things that we have changed. The first thing is you'll see that there is a direct kind of like, this is what we talked about this last week. This is the part of the native. This is the life event. The rod and rating now goes with the life event. The type of life event is on the right-hand side. Celine Dion did not die, nor was she born on the 31st of January, 1979. I know. Fake news. It's all fine. And like Trey showed, these thin buttons and the secondary button can show up in the transit view. Very happy with how that all turned out, even though it was kind of a short week. Loved it.
Yeah.
Nice.
I loved it too.
What should the lovely viewer, who by the way is getting a record paced episode right now, what should the lovely viewer do today?
They should do a little bit of something that's important to them.
Maybe read a book.
It's a little bit.
Maybe read a book that they bought for somebody else.
Chapter. Like,
but
you
one
don't have
chapter.
to
Yeah.
Go
buy a book for somebody else and then read it one chapter. I'm telling the viewer who's sitting right over here who's reading a book that they bought for me right now. Thank you for joining us. Have a beautiful Saturday or whatever day you watch this episode. We love you very much. Take care. Love you. Bye.
Bye.